Our welcoming nature comes from a core foundation of good people. Longtime family influences with ties to servant leadership have defined community service and remain close to the heart of the philanthropic spirit that sets us apart from the others. The Ben Suttle Special Services Award recognizes an individual with a familiar name whose positive notes can be found just about everywhere.
My mother was a Farthing, my dad was a Winkler, so I was related to everybody in the county pretty much. But in particular, my granddad was so involved with, and his brothers were so involved with just building the town and developing the town and with such enthusiasm. And I just grew up with that, with my granddad here at Horn in the West. He was on the building committee, helped get the Southern Appalachian Historical Association started and worked on that. Was volunteering at church. My dad would volunteer at church. Grandparents were always involved in everything around here. Granddad had first car dealership, as far as I know, and where the Horton Hotel was, had a Studebaker dealership, but then they had the Ford Place downtown for years. As we know, he built the Appalachian Theater, and growing up in a place, in a town where my friends and everybody's family was involved in the community. I do remember my granddad once saying, community is good to you, you have to give back to the community. And I don't think I ever consciously said, well, I'm going to do that. It just seemed to come natural. It's this town, this county, this area, the people, they've all been so good to me over the years. I've had a wonderful life of making a living doing the things that I love with people that I love, and it's all because of how they've all treated me, whether it was the schools or the church or just the businesses around here. Everybody, when you feel that blessed, you got to give back a little. You just have to. My first job was Horn in the West, 1965, picking up trash and setting out chairs and just hanging out here. And at that time, I didn't know that my granddad had been involved from the very beginning. And it was my uncle on my mother's side who got me the job. And I'm still here. I mean, even when I don't work in it, I volunteer. I've always been out here. I fell in love with the play. I fell in love with the place. It was just, I believe in it. I believe in its message. I love the music, of course. Although I wasn't really involved in the music very much until the last 2 years. But so that's kind of come a big full circle since my career has been in music, and then now I'm helping Horn in the West with music. The best way to describe what Horn in the West means to me is with one word that it's a word that Glenn Causey, when he played Daniel Boone, used to say. He'd say, you watch the sun go down over the mountains, and you hear something kind of like an old steer horn from the top of Grandfather Mountain, and yet it's more than that. And that's what this place is to me. It's more than that. When I'm mostly thinking about Boone, I think about my church that I grew up in, right down the corner of King and College Street. We just have a community that cares about each other and forgives you a lot too. I mean, I've certainly made my share of mistakes in my life, but you know, they still let me hang out. This is home. And I know a lot of people now that moved here later that feel the same way, that this is now home.